Hey, welcome back here to the episode Central PA Pour, our season 2 wrap up. And if you're looking here, we have Mr. Ben sitting in the studio with us. Hello, Ben.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Ben.
Been a while.
Been a while. So you've been off doing your own little thing.
Trying to, here and there.
So, yeah, it's good to have you sitting back down here in the Essex Homebrew Works recording studio and our season 2 wrap up. I can't believe it's been, holy shit, 6 months. Our first episode was in September with Luke from the Brewscasters.
It was.
So, what do you guys take away from season 2?
Well, from what I was here for,
Yeah, you've been here a little bit here and there.
it's again all kinds of cool stories. You know, whether it's buy local or just trying different things out. Like one of the guests, well, let's put some paprika, whatever that was.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. And I got a pretty cool story to tell later too about a guy I met.
Oh, cool. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So, but no, these guests have been outstanding.
Yeah, I think the journey, as we continue on this journey, we're finding that each story's similar but different.
Yes.
And it's unique, and that's kind of what's been our goal with this thing. Dave, what do you take away from it?
Yeah, about the same. Good stories. Yeah. I love, Ben, been a while, Ben. Little play on.
You caught that, huh? I was trying to sneak it by you.
Yeah.
So, Ben, what is your takeaway from season 2? You've been kind of doing your own live thing and not in the recording studio with us.
From a distance, it seems like a lot of the same good stuff going on. A lot of great guests, very gracious with their time. Hell, we got a lot of people in the studio, which was a bit different from season 1.
Yeah,
but I mean, like you had mentioned, it's a lot of similar stories, but at the same time, it's like interesting to see how everybody kind of went through their own trials and tribulations as far as like the entrepreneurship struggles go, or figuring out how to manage a business, or a restaurant. It's not just brewing beer.
Yeah, and you've had a couple on yours live stuff that we have not had the privilege of having on the studio yet.
Yeah. For
they
sure.
had some good, interesting stories too.
Lindgren, they're very eager to. He actually just reached out to me recently. I don't think I told you guys, but he apologized that it took him a while to get back to me. Basically,
well, they're doing some other stuff up there. Something with the bank.
They're going nuts, man. I know when I had him on Mix of Six Live, he was talking about the bank and how they had all these plans. Different tiers of membership for the bank. You actually get to go in like the old bank stuff, and that's how they do their monthly membership. They're going to have like key holders, I think they called them. But yeah, he apologized basically for not getting back to me. But yeah, that family's busier than all hell getting there and getting ready to open their thing up.
I think some of it started like in a milk barn or something like that on his farm is where they started brewing.
Yeah.
So right there is part of the story that's unique. So, yeah, we'd like to get that. And hidden stories you had on as well?
Yeah, that's right. That of, what's that?
Sunbury.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, up that way, for sure. Another great guy. He's kind of in between, brewing and popping out to these festivals and things like that. And then he has like a pop-up in Sunbury itself that he does every once in a while, on the weekends primarily, but they're trying to just get that thing launched as well. But yeah, I'm going to hopefully hit that up when I go up to Knoebels later this year. So
there we go.
Mix of Six Live. I'm trying to get guests whenever we can, but it's not always sunshine and rainbows, but that's okay.
That's a good beer name here, Sunshine and Rainbows. But I think overall, I mean, what we found this portion when we decided to cut it into seasons is the guests have been a little easier, more willing to come in studio and record with us. So,
actually, some of them insisted
they would rather be. They would rather be here.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think we're on the right track. That we're doing something right. That maybe our name is getting out there a little bit better. And because right now I have 8 more guests lined up with 3 on the hook. So we'll have season 3 recorded here in the next couple months. So things are going well. I think we've enjoyed every guest we've had on here. Of course, we always enjoy the beer. I think one of my most memorable is when we had the Scabs up here, who we met at our first on site at Brew Kids last September.
Yep.
And it was for them, and the three of us were sitting here in the studio. We had 7 of us here on camera, so that was very interesting. And they brought 13 or 14 beers, and we were like, they're like, we're going to drink them all. I'm like, okay, so we normally do 4. I was thinking one per brewer. They brought 4 each or 3 each, and it's like, okay, well, let's load the table back up.
Poor Dave walked out to the men's room. Dude comes back and his eyes were as big as, oh my God.
Dude, that's the first thing that I heard. I heard Dave was on the couch like the following day, the entirety of the day.
He's like, now, goddamn, I'm getting old, but I thought we already drank our 4.
Yeah, it was. I think every guest. I mean, we've had a bunch of people that we had met at Brew Kids. We've already had on gift tours, CNC, Dover Brewing, the Scabs. We're Stony Run. We reshot his episode since he was our initial first guest, so we did our last on-site recording with that. And we got more to come. We got a lot more to come. Speaking of that, we got brew festivals that we got on our calendar that we're going to do some more on site.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That was some of my favorite parts. I know I wasn't super involved with all the episodes, season 2, but going out to Big Bottom.
Oh yeah,
and then just the recent one at the Ales for Tales at Gift Horse.
We weren't. None of us were. We were sitting out there and we're like, let's just have fun. We didn't feel like recording content.
Right.
We had the Prez from Buy Local serving us the drinks. And I mean, I think I've said this several times, and I think we all feel the same. Either, if we don't make it that we're viral, the connections we're making is more valuable to me than money.
Right.
All these connections that we can reach out and talk to anytime, and they come to us and talk to us. I think that to me is more valuable than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we stop doing this tomorrow, those connections will still always remain.
Yep,
absolutely.
Especially now that we are dabbling in home brewing with all grains, it's pretty cool that we can sit and reach out to some people and say, hey,
understand it a little more.
Yeah. And give us some tips on it. So Ben, you're drinking one of ours.
Damn good.
That's our Aaron Gobralis Irish Red. And the last time you had it, you weren't in the best of conditions to really taste it. So what do you think of that one?
Might have had a few too many that day, and then this might have put a cap on it. No, it's very good though. It's smooth. I like the little oh goodness. The end notes.
Kind of like a bready malt sweetness out of it.
Thank you. Yep. I was lost for words, but yes, very, very clean, crisp, sweet malty finish.
And I'm happy.
The ales, dude, they're the red ales specifically.
I'm happy that it has darkened up a little bit in the keg. Being that it was our first all grain, first time kegging, I'm glad it turned out the way it did. It will be a recipe we're going to brew again. I've had. Our neighbor Josh has been loving that beer ever since he's doing a project here.
That's what he said.
So this was the first all grain batch.
That was the first all grain batch.
Any lessons learned from that first batch, or did it go smooth?
Yeah, do it right.
It did went smooth. Mark from Dover Brewing come over to help us do it and guide us through it, since he's using a very similar system to what we're using, the Brewzilla. And he was very helpful and more than willing. The only request he had is he had to come back and try it to make sure the end product. I'm like, yeah, no problem. So he came back when we did our second all grain batch, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and helped us with that one as well. Kevin hasn't had the pleasure of brewing with us.
Nope.
It's a fun hobby. We keep joking about buying that building down here and opening our own brew, but you know what? I'm not giving up weekends.
Actually, Ben and I were out golfing a couple weeks ago, and now that they cleaned out that lot, and I'm stuck on that Pizza Hut building now, or the Domino's.
Oh, the old Domino's building?
Because you could set up a little thing, all the beer guy, all the golfers would come grab a beer.
Right out the back door.
Right out the back door.
Hell, it's kind of like the Scrubby's niche with the brewery. Hell,
Yeah.
get a nice partnership going.
Yeah, I tell you what. I mean, Emery was a cool guest, and he fell into a perfect opportunity that was right up his alley.
Yeah.
Sort of, no pun intended, right up the alley.
Yeah.
He was a bowler, and it was awesome. He didn't have to have a kitchen.
Yep.
He got a little tap room there, and it's just a perfect opportunity. And he's doing some phenomenal stuff down there as well. So speaking of beer, Kevin, you got the can in front of us. He's one of the more recent guests.
This is a Monk's Gold by Lydian Stone Brewing Company.
And I think it's a Belgian.
It is a Belgium, 9.07%. And it says to drink responsibly.
Well, when Keith and them were down here, they left us this here for us to sample. When I've been holding it onto it to all four of us,
That one?
we're sitting here to drink it. Yes, I think that might be that other one.
It's the
No,
other
it's
one.
the other one. Yeah.
So there's the Monk's Gold from Lydian Stone Brewing Company. Cheers.
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 Oh, that's really.
Sweet.
I like that.
Sweet, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're getting that sweetness of the banana, a little bit of a clove ending, but it's smooth. Belgian Tripel.
I had a banana the other day in Florida. It seems like that's something new, at least for me, coming around. More bananas.
Well, if you're talking about Belgians, you're going to have some banana notes in it.
Yeah.
With any kind of Belgian, but there are some recipes with wheat beers and stuff with bananas and stuff in it. I think there is a trend that goes up and comes down, and some of the stuff that's coming back, or the ales are starting to make a big comeback. I think our recent guest talked about that, and some of the styles, like I mentioned, the cream ales went away for a while. Now they're starting to be a big comeback. The cream ales,
And then the root beer. That's something I've been hearing quite a bit about lately.
Is the Genesee cream ale coming back?
I hope not.
Okay.
I've had plenty of that in my day. And A, it was what I could afford, and B, when I wasn't quite of age, you trusted whoever went in there and bought you with whatever money you gave them.
Yeah, a lot of times you find out that you drink what your pocketbook can support, and a lot of times when you're younger, and especially when you're just, well, I'm gonna say right as soon as you turn 21. Anyway,
Okay.
We never drank when we were under 21.
but you don't have a hell of a lot of money.
No,
So you drink what your pocketbook can afford.
my pocketbook can't really afford what we're drinking now, but I make do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just think about it. Probably a couple hundred just on the table now.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you, it wasn't anything. You could go in with a $20 bill to the beer distributor and walk out with a case, and now $20 bill gets you a
Six-pack,
a
maybe.
mix of six.
No, not even.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. You can't. It's not the same. Than it used to be.
So the other day I met this gentleman named Brian over at my house. He's a third generation beer keeper, per se, and he's been brewing beer with honey, doing distilled with honey.
Okay.
And we got talking, and so he wants to get on either one of our shows, and more importantly, he wants to put together something and make together.
Oh, we could
And-
do our first collab.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
He was like stupid excited about this because initially he's like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to be on a podcast or a live stream." And then the more he got talking about, you could feel the love coming out of him. And he's like, beer, honey, people don't think they go together, but he says, I've been doing it for years. And he was telling me about a dream. There's some flower in Alaska that only buds once every 5 years. And he wants to get there to get that flower to make a beer out of. So
That'd be cool.
yeah, this guy's got the dream, and he's going for everything. So it sounded pretty exciting. And I've got his number. And
That's cool. We'll get him hooked up with one of us, or both.
Yeah,
Put him on
both.
both.
Yeah.
we could do. We could get on the Mix of Six Live there with Ben and do an intro, and we'll do a full sit down.
Beer keeper. Is that what you
Beer
said?
keeper.
I thought that was.
No, beekeeper.
Oh, you
I
said
thought-
beer
I
keeper.
thought he said beer
Hell, he's
too.
a
I
beer.
thought
He's
he
a beer
said-
keeper now. He's a beer keeper now.
Third generation of keeping bees.
Well, that it sounds like it should be his brewery name, Beer Keeper.
Yeah.
That's a good
Hell
name,
yeah.
Beer Keeper. And you got the B in there, and you got the R.
Logo writes itself as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You can imagine that with a beer can with wings and a stinger.
Yeah.
With a little hop coming out of the ass.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nice.
Tell him we already got his name.
I'll have to tell him to listen to this one.
We just decided Beer Keeper.
All right.
Well, that reminds me, you had mentioned that about him wanting to go to Alaska. Rich and Chris Chisholm, you remember they got that, whatever that ingredient was when they're on trip to Hawaii, and they brewed that one beer that we had on the episode. And it was like, wow, it was phenomenal.
Any word on their next moves yet, or no?
I have not heard their next move. I think I heard they were going to go out and help Mexitali with their brewing situation. I think their brewer is retiring or leaving. I don't know the whole story, if that's 100% true yet or not. But no, they, Dover Brewing still looking for a brick and mortar. Both their things have fell through. We wish them both the best of luck. And, I just went up to see Tim and Rod. They're back at Back Porch, and they did a phenomenal job with that place. They are hopping. It is a go-to place in Carlisle.
Nice.
And, that little video I stuck out's got over 300 some views in less than a week. So I'm happy with that.
They're already getting some new equipment. That's nuts.
Well, yeah. Did you hear what in the little episode I did? Their Ice Fest weekend, which was when they first opened, they sold 800 pints, which wiped them out. And then St. Patrick's Day wasn't far behind it. They sold over 500, so it wiped them out again. Their system is not very big. It was what they were brewing with on their back porch. So they have to brew a lot. So they're ordering bigger equipment so they can put more product out. So
Might have been this morning I saw the post, or yesterday, that said they ordered it. It's something they got on like a 12-week delay, but they were doing like double and triple batch days.
Yeah, because
that's a work day.
Yeah, when Sally and I were up there, like, well, you can come out tomorrow. We're going to be starting like at 6:30. We're doing a triple batch. I'm like, I'll be heading home. So I'm glad to see that they're successful.
Mm-hmm.
The tap takeover that you had set up with us with Bob from Big Bottom, that was cool as crap that day.
Very fun time.
We were just trying to pick a fight so we can get a viral video.
Yeah.
We're looking for that niche just to get us on that, over that edge. I mean,
The power of social media, it's pretty nuts. I watched the video later on, and it was like it was all right. It was nothing crazy, but hell, it was enough to get him a couple million views, which is crazy.
I know you, when I told you about it, you and I were looking around. It's like, who are we picking a fight with here tonight? Oh, I don't know. We've had some great times. What do you guys think? I mean, where do we go from here? Just keep plugging along, keep doing what we're doing?
Sounds like a plan. I'm, like we said earlier, I'm excited to get some of these festivals, and
I think that's going to be our goal for this next, try to get out more to these festivals. We're not going to do the live feed. We'll do a live recording and launch it pretty quick. We won't do any post edit. We'll just piece it together and bam, there it goes.
Dude, it feels like there's a festival going on throughout, like maybe like half of the state or whatever. You can find one every weekend to go to. It's crazy.
Oh, I know. And that one that reached out to you while we were sitting at Brew Kids, maybe we ought to reach back out. I mean, it'd be a travel. What is it? Just north of Allentown?
No, it was like right outside of Trenton, New Jersey.
Trenton, New Jersey.
It was in New Jersey. It was in
Newton. I think it was
in Newton.
Yeah, it was Newton, Pennsylvania, but it was right outside of Trenton. Like,
Hey, make it a weekend. We'll make it an overnight stay.
there's a ball game.
Now, the Brew
I
Kids
might
is...
have a.
Go ahead. You might have a what?
I don't even know if I've said this on the podcast or on my thing yet, but might have another arrival by that time. So I'll be a little tied up.
That's right. That's right. Ben and his wife are expecting another child. Is this going to be it, or are you going to go for a third?
Yeah, this will probably be it. But we're not finding out the gender, so we'll see.
Oh, we might have to do a live gender reveal.
Kevin Gladys reporting at the hospital.
Yeah.
Cheers. It's a boy. It's a boy. What are you hoping for, Ben?
I'd love a boy, but I'm good either way.
As long as it's healthy.
Yeah, healthy mommy, healthy kiddo, and I'm cool. Being a girl dad for 2.5 years has been awesome. So, I mean, I'm cool either way.
I'm happy to see it, man. To watch our kids grow up like that, when you guys had just moved in, the kids are what, maybe they were 10?
10.
If that. Yeah. And to see you guys, how holy fuck, how fast the years have flown by for one thing. And then to see you guys, moving up and growing, and that's just, as a father or a parent, that just makes you happy and proud. Agree, Dave?
Yeah, I agree.
Cheers.
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 Cheers to that.
Cheers to your new arrival.
Thank you, gentlemen.
But I think our first Brew Fest is in June. The Glen Rock Arts and Brews Fest.
Mm-hmm.
That I may not be there, so it might be the three of you guys taking that down. We'll set it up and kind of do what we've discussed. Just sit around and get people to stop in, talk with us a little bit, and just go from there. A couple other things that we've been trying to get more content. And one of the things we're working on is with some of our past guests, Jason from Gift Horse, Colton from Stony Run, which is now with Fallen Branch, and Emery from Scrubbies, are looking to do a brewers podcast where it's the brewers going to talk about the process. And Dave's working with a gentleman from another place that wants to do the wine.
He's going to do the wine for us.
And we did a sample run of that.
Mm-hmm.
And
I liked it. It came out pretty good. I think that everybody else saw it. And we're going to be rescheduling the real thing here very shortly. And I guess I should tell your wife, but
yeah, should be around.
Yeah.
So we're working on some new content with that stuff.
Yep. We're lining up the wines and stuff right now. So
that might be some of our season 3 stuff that's going to be new and upcoming. Ben, hope you keep doing the live thing here and there, and maybe we can get that to grow. I know. I reach out to everybody's like, get on Ben, check Ben. It only takes like 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
That's the thing, and it's
challenging.
Anybody that is in this content game, I'm sure there's peaks and valleys of it, and man, when there's one person watching, that shit is so discouraging.
Yeah, I know.
And it's a part of it, but
well, you look back to us about a year and a half ago, and we were like, with this idea, what are we going to do? Well, we were all gung ho, and it's like 10 views, 5 views, but. Yeah, I think we're growing. A couple of our friends that we've reached out to, they've had struggles too with some other, he's a content creator up and down. He closed up one, started another, and sounds like his more recent post, they're going to be closing that shop too. It's a struggle, trying to be a content creator and hold down a full-time job and life, and you've been with young children. It's tough. I mean, it's a tough gig. I mean, to try and make every night, like Wednesday night, I need to be here and do this. I'm catching flack. Wife's like, you got to give something up soon. She said, you bought me those lenses, and look at the stuff you got for your studio. And would you tell me? Got to make money. I said, we're trying.
It's a part of it, though. I mean, if it's a fine balance for sure. But if you're enjoying it and you're passionate about it, then you chances are you'll find that balance and make it work.
Yeah, we're making it work. We're having. I mean, right now, this was stemmed out of our love for this craft beer and our beer drinking nights. Now, the only downside to us doing this, it is taken away from our monthly beer nights, and we all enjoyed them. It's just tough. It's tough to jug everything.
We did try to record this previously in my basement, but I was a little over,
to say the least.
might have overdone it that day, and B, the lighting in the basement wasn't up to par. So I'd much rather shoot it here.
Yeah, I mean, we did try it, but we did not release that content. It was not the greatest.
What the hell was I doing that day before that? I don't
you were at some party,
Baseball party. Baseball party.
Oh, that's right, St. Patrick's Day. That's
St.
what it
Patrick's
was.
Day.
Yeah, that
It was
was
St. Patrick's
that was a long day.
I know when you showed up here to have your dad drive you, you were standing in my garage going like this. Which I know plenty of how that goes because I've done quite a bit of this over the last year and a half, 2 years.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Shit.
Oh my! So
What's next?
what's our
gentlemen?
second beer?
what's our second beer?
That's over there, right?
You have it right in front
He
of
has it
you.
over. It's a nitro. It's a White Russian nitro, and that came from JR's.
But it's Left Hand Brewing.
Left Hand Brewing Company, White Russian Nitro, white stout with coffee and vanilla added.
It looks super smooth and decadent.
It does have like almost like a cream ale
You just read
coloring
that
Yeah.
to it.
off. I knew it.
Just about. Is that
You don't use that word decadent. What the
just
hell?
read
You
it off
think
the
you're going
can.
to fool me?
Can you spell that, Kevin?
No.
Let me see.
But it almost has a cream ale coloring and look
does.
to it.
I'm not getting it.
8.9% ABV.
Well, we start off some high stuff, didn't
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, what the hell? And we got
It is very smooth.
Very smooth,
Uh,
creamy,
It is creamy with that nitrous.
It's very decadent.
very decadent.
But I like it. I don't know if I think you had in one of these other ones that was a creme brulee before.
That's a
too.
creme brulee. Yes,
And that was very good.
Right.
This is good. Don't get me wrong. It's very good.
getting the vanilla.
Yeah. There's something in the end though. It's like a flowery.
Is it listed as a golden stout or just a stout?
White stout.
white stuff.
White stout. Because I tried to brew a golden stout and that didn't turn out too well. That was they turned out to be bottle bombs. They got overcarbonated.
Boom.
Yeah, they didn't turn out. But I mean, it's very clear. So they definitely did a great job, and that's one thing. After talking to some of these brewers, the clearer the beer, it makes a much more better product. So as a home brewer, that's going to be something I'm going to try and figure out is how to clear the beer a little bit. You're doing what our recent guest just did.
Yeah.
Swirling it. And I forget, what did he say is to bring out more of the aromas?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was interesting because the other night we're sitting there in Miami on the beach drinking some beers, and we both had a beer apiece, different flavored that we didn't care for either of them. And I said, Tim, let's just try something. Let's keep them set aside for a while.
Let them warm up.
Yep. And unfortunately, we went to a Stella. We had our Stella. We went back to the beers, and they were much improved. I'm not going to say I didn't rate them, but they were much improved. But mine was like a key lime pie type of beer, and I forget exactly what his was, but both of them are just brutally terrible in the beginning.
And I think we found out with some of the beers, to let them warm up a little bit,
Yeah.
to room temperature,
Changes the whole flavor.
change them. And speaking of key lime pie, I think one of the
We had one.
the best one I've ever had was from Jim from Scabs.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
Oh,
That was a good beer.
And actually, when we ran into him at Ales for Tales, the takeover that they did at Gift Tours, I was in there talking to him. He put that into the Lancaster Guild Iron Brewer, and he won with that beer
Yes.
in his category. I was like, I don't. Stout that was freaking phenomenal, man. I mean, you got all three of the flavors of that key lime. Now we sampled a key lime on here with the Beer Thrillers.
Yeah.
And I won't mention who was it. It's from York County though. And it was god awful. I'm sorry, it was god awful.
Yeah, it wasn't as good.
It was not key lime. It was just tart.
It was tart.
It was all it was. It
Yes.
was just tart. It should have just been a tart sour. Not even mention it.
But you're right about that other one. You could taste all the different flavors, and it hits you separate. Oh, that was just perfect.
And it was they're homebrewers, which
Yeah.
to me I think they're pretty much professional brewers from their systems and their setups. But I don't know.
Funny note on this White Russian stout. They're from Colorado, and the first ingredient, Rocky Mountain water.
At least it didn't say Rocky Mountain oysters. It was funny. I think when we first started recording, Ben, you said about, well, we could use some swear words in this, and who was the first one to let a fuck bomb fly? Bam. And then we were sitting here recording with, it was Lydian Stone, and you wanted me to say, we talked about it before we went back on air about, fire truck and, what the F been. You guys encouraged me to say it, so I said it.
Speaking of that, I gotta find my shirt from them. I only wore it once, and I can't find it.
I got two of them. I bought them both. And speaking of our guest, I mean, Lydian Stone, we haven't had some problems, but we had one with them, and they were more than willing to come back and do that again.
Yep.
And their story is phenomenal. It was a whole family involved. I mean, the husband, the wife, and then the son got involved going. You just mentioned next in our last recording, which will be our first episode in season 3, about the Dollar General.
The Dollar General.
I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of bringing a food truck, he said, I can do it better, but he walks across the street to Dollar General and makes some mac and cheese from Dollar General, and it's a staple once in a while. They have a cool little place. I mean, I'm glad they got no desire to make that footprint any bigger. It is, They love it. And, they were a great group.
Hey, if you can pay your bills and enjoy what you do every day, why?
Yeah. I mean, and that was some of the, when we had Scabs on here, what they said, we asked them that question, do you have any aspirations of becoming professional? And they're like, no. They've been doing it for so long. And if they make a bad beer, I think the one comment was, my mortgage doesn't depend on it.
Right.
I think that's cool. And Steve Poor, he's got his own channel, SJ Poor. And he just did a release talking about one of his new beers. Actually, the Quebec, I think it was the Quebec that he was talking about too, is why he was on our show. He grows his own hops right at his house.
Yes.
And that was pretty cool.
Speaking of hops, I'm having a brain fart, and I didn't have a chance to go back through the couple we had in here.
Michael and Sharon, Rice Schneider, Gems Farm.
Gems Farms.
Gems Farm.
I was speaking with Brian about this, and because he was looking for some help on one of the things he was doing. And I said, well, we had a guest on there, and give me a minute. But
I'll give you a card. We still have a couple other cards here.
well, hopefully we can get him in and, Brian in from the Beekeeper and talk about that with him.
The Beer Keeper.
The beer.
Well, he can go around on YouTube and watch the episode.
Well, that's what I told him to do.
Yeah.
Actually, he logged right in when he got to his truck. And the poor guy was looking at his phone. He lost the earbud in my yard.
Oh, shit, really?
He did. Oh, brand new set too. His wife just gave it. Her girlfriend, whatever, just gave it to him. First time out of the container, and he lost it.
So Ben, you've been kind of on the outside of our recording episodes. What are your takeaways? I mean, anything we can do to improve what we're putting out, or you think we're okay?
I think the thing you mentioned. Oops, party foul. The thing you mentioned before we started recording about like the length of the episodes. I mean, it's such a tough.
It's a tough listen.
It's a tough dynamic to nail down too, because like when you're here and you're in the rhythm and you're talking to the guests and the beer's flowing, the conversation's going, and all of a sudden you got 2 hours of episode, then looking at that and coming out of the episode all like feeling positive about the interaction and what just happened, it's awesome, but then again, it's like you're asking somebody to watch 2 hours worth of stuff, and it's like
I get that.
I'm a goldfish myself, and I'm just like woo woo squirrel kind of dude, and like
Keep swimming.
It's tough. It's tough to kind of find that balance in doing this, but like I keep trying to go back to, like, if you're enjoying it, then it'll work itself out.
I think that's when we first started this. So we said with our first two, let's keep it to under 45 minutes. But then when we got the guest involved, it was where the guests led us.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I'm not a content creator. I'm not a YouTuber. I don't even listen or watch podcasts a lot. I'll be the first to admit that. But to have somebody sit down and listen or watch a podcast,
tell their story
over an hour, it's a lengthy involvement. I'm doing something else for my automotive association. We're recording videos, and my co-host says he watches podcasts rather than TV. So at nighttime, he'll go home and pop podcast on his television.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And I hate to cut any content out from our guests, or do we just streamline it and come up with certain scenario questions that these are our typical questions we ask and just keep it moving? I don't know. You're that younger generation, Ben. This is your genre. I'm kind of on the outskirts of that, and I don't know. I don't know what's going to take it to the next level.
There isn't a right answer either. That's the shitty part, because as soon as, like, way back when we started this, I was doing like a YouTube class on how to grow it and
I remember that.
How to strategize things and take advantage of social media and all the algorithms and all that kind of bullshit. Well, guess what? That stuff changes. So, like, as soon as you think you mastered it and you have, a solid strategy, they'll change something up, or like or a company will buy somebody else. It's like now that Anchor doesn't exist anymore. It's like Spotify for podcasts, and like Facebook has podcasts and shit. It's like, and there's no like blueprint to do this shit exactly.
If you're going to find it and you like it, you're going to look. You're going to search for it.
Exactly.
And I've listened to some other podcasts briefly here and there about similar stuff that we're doing. Truthfully, I'm not sitting here patting ourselves on the back, but I'm going to. I think our content's much better than from what I've seen. Again, it's just finding that, bam, what's going to put us over the top to make us something that people are going to watch.
The part that we're doing very well at is getting people comfortable, because
I've heard that a lot, yeah.
Everybody that comes down, they were like we were all over at my house on that first episode, shaking and nervous.
Didn't know what to expect.
They sit down, minute goes by, then they settle in. And I think we do very well at that.
I think one of my, and this is going back to our first season when we had Mudhook, Jeff. It took forever to get him to commit. And even until we sat down at the table and started recording, you could see that fear just wipe off his face. And at the end, what'd he say? Yep. I'm going to cheers you guys. I mean, that was just like the ultimate kudos to what we're trying to do.
Yeah, that was
you think about all the bullshit that people have to go through, like in their business side of things, like Jeff or anybody that owns these places. It's like, got to get all these licenses and meet all these regulations. And not only that, but all of a sudden you put your business out in the news and you got media outlets coming to get you, and people sharing your shit on Facebook, giving their sometimes unwanted opinions and this and that. And it's like overwhelming, I'd imagine. And then just one more cherry on top of all that. But like Dad alluded to, I mean, people come down here and get that sense of comfort and then open up, and the alcohol probably helps.
Yeah, it definitely helps. I mean, it definitely helps. And we've had that with a lot of the guests. Well, I've never done this. And
another interesting point is I know for sure our last guest spoke about it. And again, last week when I was in Miami, they were speaking about it, the Untapped. People love it or they dislike it. And they're starting to really dislike it.
I think we need to maybe make an episode just about Untapped and get some of the professional brewers' perspectives and incorporate that into it, because it can be a very negative thing.
It can. I know, well, the guy next to me taught me, hey, that's their livelihood. Give them a chance. Don't If you don't like it, don't rate it.
And I always thought if you didn't check, if I check the beer in and don't rate it, that's worse than not rating it. And it's actually not.
No, it's not.
It's better just to check the beer and don't give it a rating. And to me, I have my standards. I don't go usually lower than 3.25, and it's not saying it's a bad beer. And if I do rate it lower than what my normal is, I'm going to explain why I rated it lower. And that's the problem. A lot of people don't. It's what do they call them? The people that just Google around and they'll just leave ratings and they're not even a customer. What do they call those people on
Stupid.
the internet?
I didn't know that.
Well, they're stupid.
Stupido.
But they'll rate a business just to give them a bad rating, and they never even visited the place. And that's kind of what our guest was talking about. They never even drank the beer, but they're giving me a 1 star.
Right.
Or I think Brooks touched on that at the very beginning. Well, give me a half star for what? Tell me why. What did I do wrong?
Right.
And I think the 4 of us sitting here, we at least will describe why we didn't like it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Not saying it's a bad beer, just was not mine. I didn't like this beer.
I couldn't tell you last time I rated a beer. They scarred me.
But
They scarred me with that. I just check it in now. I don't even give a rating because
I still rate them. I don't do all the typing that I used to do. Every once in a while, I will. Now, I don't normally do 5s.
No.
Now, to me, a 5 is what it is. Luke, 4 is his lowest. I mean, he does a lot of 5s. But when I did my Pittsburgh visit, and I talked to you about that on the show, that I gave 2 5s out there. And I was just because I was overwhelmed at how good that fucking beer was. I mean,
Yeah.
one was Grist House, and the other one was Trace, who was going to be on an upcoming episode that we're going to do a remote recording with. So look forward to that. That's going to be a fun one. And I'm going to have to go back out to Pittsburgh. That was fun. That was a fun time. Speaking of beer, what do we got sitting in front of us? This is Ben. You brought this one.
Yeah, my buddy Ollie, my neighbor, brought this over. We had a little beer exchange this morning. This is
Well, he didn't get
Broken
this.
Heels
He didn't
from,
get this from New Trail.
right. It is Broken Heels from New Trail Brewing, but he got it at the Brickyard. I'm not even sure where that's at, but
I'll tell you here in a second.
there you go.
That doesn't say. It just says the Brickyard Restaurant and Ale House, the Stonehouse Wood-Fired Pizza and Pasteria.
New Trail puts out a ton of beers, man, and I don't want to say like mostly IPAs, but you'll see a good bit of them for sure.
They do a lot of
might even-
IPAs, but they also do. I mean, I got one up the Sticky Trail or something like that. That's one of their pastry stouts. That's
Okay.
a pretty good one.
This one's definitely heavy on the hops.
Well, let's see what it is. Broken Heel.
Hazy boy.
Kevin, you like these hoppy ones.
I love you long time. I hate the
Jesus.
IPA.
That's a lot.
It's not just Kevin that.
Dave, come on now. This is a 5-0 up your book, isn't it?
Which book's that?
You know what? It's not bad. I mean, I'm definitely getting all the hop characteristics, and I'd have to research to see what hops are in it, but it's not bad. It's very drinkable to me.
It's good flavor.
I feel like that ending is mosaic.
So and we had mentioned this once before. I think the last time you were in the studio, we talked about Brooks does that garage series where they're focusing on one hop. Some of our other guests have recently started doing one hop beers. So and it's kind of a unique way to get that. When you're starting to see different hops, now you're saying, okay, this Mosaic or the Citra or the Chinook bring this to the party. And when you put them all three together, now you'll understand what flavors you're getting out of it.
A hazy IPA hopped intrepidly with hand-selected Citra and Mosaic, leading to high aromatics of luminous citrus, rich conifer, and refreshing tropicals.
I get the pine, I get a little citrus, and Ben, you hit it right on the nail. I'm telling you, hey,
Learn something.
you know what? We're learning as we travel this
Dude,
path.
Such a decadent beer.
I'll give you all the money in my wallet right now if you can tell me what decadent means. I'm looking it up. 'Cause I don't know. But you might.
Decadent is like, isn't it like...
Sleazy.
no, it's,
We need a
no,
definition.
no.
We're not naming synonyms.
is like when something is very nice, it's superior, like it's
Silky, smooth.
it's
not really.
What is it?
No, decadent is more on the sleazy side. I'm sorry.
I don't think so. What is it, Ben?
As an adjective, characterized by or reflecting a state of moral or cultural decline.
Really?
Sleazy.
As a noun, a person who is luxuriously self-indulgent.
Sleazy.
Oh shit! that one might have peaked.
Well then,
So
that was just a decadent explanation.
we'll get off that path.
So super smooth and sleazy.
So right now, I mean, we're out of football season. As we're recording this, I guess the next big thing, since the NFL's always
No,
being
there's
talked
still
about.
football games.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. There's two different leagues going on: the USFL and the XFL,
Yep.
which I haven't watched to one, but my season is playing right now. Baseball.
Yeah, is Jim McMahon still?
That's the '85 Bears.
No, that's Vince McMahon I'm thinking about. Never mind. I'm sorry. Wrong McMahon.
Did you see Vince come out after they sold to the UFC's parent company?
Yes.
His freaking jet black hair and his mustache.
I missed that.
Vince McMahon grew a mustache. He left his mustache grow.
Dude, 77, I think he is, and he dyed his hair black and grew out a nasty mustache. Like,
Does he still have that swagger as he walks down the ramp?
Oh,
well, he's kind of.
Yeah.
They made him go behind the scenes now because he got into some trouble. But
Oh yeah, he got in a lot of trouble. He's going to buy himself out of that trouble if he didn't already.
no, he sold. They straight up sold to UFC parent company.
Yeah.
Oh,
So now UFC and WWE are merged.
oh, okay. I didn't know that. So baseball's in, man.
my apologies
Amen.
to Jim McMahon and the former quarterback for the Bears, the '85 Bears, who won the Super Bowl.
But yeah, the NFL's always in front of people. But I want to talk baseball. I mean, that's my sport. And just before we sat down here, Ben and I were shooting a bit. I haven't seen a lot of baseball in the last week or so. And I just noticed, where the fuck did the Orioles come from? They're not in last place, and it's almost the end of April. They're usually in last place in the end of April, and they're sitting second in the East. What the hell's up with the Orioles?
Damn good team.
Wow.
All of our local, well, Nationals know.
No.
Phillies are probably not quite achieving their expectations.
They need help pitching.
The Buccos and the Orioles
Yeah,
are definitely.
What happened to the Pirates? They were supposed to, they haven't done anything in years. They usually trade their talent away.
I wish I could tell you because, like I told you earlier, I've been watching a ton of baseball, but they're all fucking blacked out. So, like, when I get on my MLB TV, I can't watch the local ones.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm not watching my Mets, so I don't have much insight.
Yeah,
there.
your Mets. How's your Mets doing?
They're doing okay. And a lot of injuries, especially pitching staff. Verlander hasn't thrown an inning yet.
Did I hear Scherzer got
Quintana.
ejected or something the other week?
God, dude, that
The
is
other
such
game?
a crock of shit. So they've had three ejections since they started checking for the spider tack and the real sticky shit a couple years ago. They've had three pitchers ejected. The same umpire threw all three of them out.
Well, I heard his story was he got
You got
caught and he went and gets a new glove with the same stuff in it, dude.
No. You got time for a rant? You got time
Go
for a
ahead,
rant?
ran it, man.
So I don't know if you remember Jerry Blevins. He was a lefty reliever. He played for the A's and the Mets. Now he's doing SNY, Sports New York. He's on Mets coverage. I listened to one of his podcasts for baseball as well. He's saying the problem is so much deeper than what it seems like to the everyday fan. He says the day that he got called up from Oakland's AAA affiliate, he was playing catch in the outfield in the Coliseum. He couldn't grip the damn ball. So I don't know if you guys know this, but MLB owns Rawlings.
I did not know that.
So they can essentially control the manufacturing of the baseball that's being played in Major League Baseball.
Okay.
You take an MLB baseball out of the plastic. You have to doctor it.
There's
It's not
mud. Somebody does the mud in the back.
You have to because it's not a pitchable baseball right out of the plastic.
It's very smooth leather.
It's smooth. It's not going to go where you want it. And when you have guys that are capable, when you have people that are capable of throwing a baseball 100 miles an hour, it's not safe to be able to throw it that fast, and you have no idea where it's going.
Are we talking about Charlie Sheen from Major
You
League?
got that right. You got that right. So
Wild thing.
that fact alone is why people have to doctor the baseball, and they add legal substances like rosin and sunscreen. They mix that together. They get quite the sticky concoction. So Scherzer's deal, I'm not just saying this because he's a Met. I really believe the dude that he wasn't cheating, because he was saying some weird shit, like shit you probably shouldn't say in front of a camera, like I swear on my kids, I swear on my wife, that sort of thing. But there's like a deeper thing that may be going on here, and I'm not outright saying this. I just read it somewhere that he has been the forefront of the MLB Players Association for like the better part of a decade. So if you got the owners of the baseball teams out proposing new rules or new situations, things about the league, he was always the head man for the Players Association. So he was the one telling the owners that they're full of shit, this and that, fighting for the players' rights.
Yep. Curtis Granderson used to be one of the head ones.
Him as well. So I'm not saying that there was a direct targeting thing for Scherzer, but maybe, who knows? But yeah, he pitched. Third inning, they checked him afterwards. They said his hands were a little sticky. They told him to go wash it. But the thing is, when you start mixing rosin, you start mixing the sunscreen, and they were playing in Los Angeles, so he's sweating like crazy in the middle of the day. It was a day game. So they make him go wash his hands off in front of an MLB official. But what happens when you mix cleaning alcohol with rosin and sunscreen? Oh, more sticky shit. Shocker. So he comes out the next inning. They check him again, tell him to get a new glove. So he goes and gets a new glove, comes back out before the fifth inning, I think it was, and then they tell him to get it. They tell him that he's ejected. So, and he gets to have a 10-game suspension. Now, thankfully, he's a starting pitcher, so really that's only missing 2 starts. But
they gave him a suspension on top of that.
Yeah, they gave him the suspension on top of getting ejected from the start. And it's a judgment thing on that umpire, who was the only umpire to throw people out for the sticky thing. So
I'm not, Scherzer's been around the game a long time. I can't see him cheating, but we also thought that back in the 90s.
Yeah.
These guys are cranking home run
There's
heroes.
scientific ways to tell if players are cheating. Now that's how they unearthed the whole spider tack thing. The spin rates on the ball. People they're getting such a crazy grip on that baseball that they're making it spin extra, and you only get that with certain materials on your hands.
So now we're what? We're like 20 some games, 30 games in.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think of the rules? I mean, have you watched any baseball? I tell you what, I like the new rules.
I love them, dude.
I love it. I mean, I truthfully love it. I mean, we're kind of back to original baseball, what baseball should be. You're gonna have to play small ball to win the game, steal more bases, and the speed of the game is actually less than 3 hours now.
Yeah.
Shit, you don't even got time to go get a beer and a hot dog because you're standing in line for like 40 minutes to get a hot dog and a beer for $20.
It's so much action.
Yeah, I'm not a baseball fan. I saw some of the information on the new rules, and I actually watched a video. Where they're talking about the new rules, and I'm like, holy shit! I was looking at that. The only thing I was wondering is they don't deflate the balls, right? Do they?
No, they don't deflate the balls.
That's just checking. I mean, but I watched this video, and especially with the shift.
Oh, that shift!
That was the thing that got me. I says, you got to be kidding me!
That started with what's his name from Tampa Bay,
Joe Madden,
and it. Okay, I did not like the shift. However, if I am a professional hitter, all right, I'm a dead pool hitter 99% of the time. They're going to shift me to the right field. Fucking lay a bunt down their third base side to get a base hit.
They're dead.
Keep the baton rolling.
They're dead. Yeah.
I mean, you have to. As you're a professional hitter, you should be able to put the ball where you need to put it. Now, depending on where the pitch is.
Right.
However, lay the bunt down, get a base hit, pass the baton to the next guy. So they had to put a rule in to offset because the hitters are swinging for the fence. That's the other thing I don't like. I mean, that's the other thing about baseball is, I'm a New York Yankee fan. Gleyber Torres 2 years ago was hard to strike out. When he got 2 strikes on him, he could put the ball in play. Now he's got all of a sudden, he knew he got power. Strikes out just as much as Judge and Stanton and everybody else because he's swinging for the fence. So So I mean, other than baseball, we got before this. Yeah, this episode will be released after the NFL draft. You guys are all football fans. We got no Kenny Pickett in this draft, there, Dave.
No, that was my man. You know, that was the guy that I wish that they would have listened. They're not going to listen to me anyway, but I'd send them an email and just say, hey, Kenny Pickett, just have him pick up his uniform and walk down the hall.
Well, he did.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
But whenever I heard that they had actually drafted him, I almost fell out of my chair.
Yeah. So I mean, I think he's not doing too bad. It's a starter for his first year.
Yep.
He did well.
I mean, what do you guys think of this draft? I mean, that's all it's on the radio. I mean, I listen to sports radio, and they never talk baseball. It's either basketball or football. That's all they talk about.
Yep.
So, I mean, all I've been hearing for 2 fucking months since the
NFL draft.
The NFL draft. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud. Who's going to be one? I don't care.
Quarterbacks.
I was just sitting here today watching before we sat down. They're showing all the old drafts, 84, 83. The class of 83 was probably one of the best drafts of the NFL. How many? It was 6 quarterbacks taken.
Roethlisberger was in that one, I think.
No.
83?
No. That was Elway, Marino, Kelly. That was the draft class of the quarterbacks.
Bradshaw was a little earlier. 75, I think.
70.
Bradshaw was also on his retirement bed on that time. So what do you guys think of this draft? What are you guys thinking? What are you hoping?
I don't know, man. It's going to be a lot of flip-flopping up front. I think, the Panthers traded for the first pick, but I think they're not even sure. At least that's what the fancy NFL people are saying. They weren't even sure who they wanted with the first pick. They just traded for the pick. But it's going to be a lot of flip-flopping up front, I think. A handful of quarterbacks taken. And Steelers need probably an offensive tackle, maybe an outside linebacker, and maybe a defensive back or 2. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm not, I follow baseball. That's all I really follow. I was shocked before we sat down here. I mean, Tampa Bay finally lost a couple games, and just surprising at the standings. You guys follow football more. I know basketball playoffs and NHL playoffs go on for 3 fucking months.
Neither one for me.
NBA people are punching each other in the dicks and stuff. So that's
suspensions left. You got players grabbing grabbing fans because they can't handle the barking at them.
Yeah.
They're getting how many hundreds of millions of dollars, and you can't handle somebody mocking you a little bit. Come on, suck it up, guys.
Well, that goes all the way back to Charles Barkley when he spit on that 12-year-old girl that was in the audience.
I was never a basketball fan, but for some reason, I love Charles Barkley.
Dude, Chuck is great.
He was
Shaq on TNT.
Yeah.
he was one of those. What do they call that? Those guys in the enforcers.
Oh yeah.
Barkley was an enforcer. He sat in that interior. You didn't want to go near him because he's going to plant you.
Yeah.
And I don't watch basketball. I don't listen to basketball. But if you're flipping through and what is it, TNT that carries a lot of it, and he's on their commentary. Yep. Barkley's awesome.
Yeah, he's
and then you got Shaq, who you can't understand. Oh, I tell you what, I don't know, guys. What do you think? I mean, any last comments on season 2? What do we want to do for season 3? We just keep looking out for some new content.
Right.
We're gonna try and keep adding to this problem.
Thanks a lot.
We're gonna keep adding to this platform, is what I meant to say, not problem. We got some new content. We mentioned a couple here. We still got some stuff under wraps that we're trying to work some details out. Trying to figure this all out. See how we can grow it. Maybe we get more than one watching our Mix of 6 live with Ben.
Wednesday nights, 8-ish p.m.
There you go.
And that may become, this was recorded earlier thing, And,
yeah, for sure.
I know that's something that you definitely wanted to dive into, and, keep plugging along, buddy. Keep plugging along. That's all we're doing. Maybe someday we'll get the numbers and the sponsorships are rolling, and It'll help pay for what we're doing.
Oh shit, guys! I didn't even mention this part, but we got the merch site.
Oh, the
finally up.
merch! Yes, we got the merch. Did that PNG?
I didn't get a chance to do that one
Okay.
yet, but the store is live, and you can find it on the link tree.
So yeah, look us
you
up
buy
on the
me a
link
shirt?
tree.
I did not buy anything yet.
Oh man.
We got to come up with some cool slogans for our shirts. You know, we already got the bonded by beer, which you've coined that, and that's becoming a catchphrase.
Yeah.
I think that's what the shirt is actually. So
But
that's
we
the
gotta
one that I
come
made.
We got to come up with some new ones. You
Yeah,
know? We got to come up with some
agreed.
different things. you
Yeah,
know?
like Dave's the best of the four.
Could be.
Heard that.
How about the oldest?
Well, that's
I'm
a given.
I'm not lying.
I mean, that's a given. You know?
Yeah,
That's true.
And I think that's the other part that, why we're unique from any other podcast. It's 3 generations sitting here. 3 different points of views, 4 different palates when we're sampling these beers. So, hey, if you do have a beer or something you want to see on our content, or a brewery that you visited that say, hey, you guys got to check it out, let us know in the comments. Give us an email at centralpaport@gmail.com. Make sure you check out Ben's Wednesday nights Mix of 6 live, and that is on YouTube,
Facebook and Twitter.
Facebook and Twitter. We have a TikTok now and a LinkedIn.
Are you still allowed to log into TikTok in this state? Or?
I don't know.
In this country.
I don't know. I tried to do a couple TikTok 60-second videos, and when Ben put them out, it cuts the end off. So I don't understand algorithms. They were under 60 seconds, so what the fuck? Come on. You're cutting off some of the content, I don't know.
Let's drink.
I'm figuring it out. But check us out on all your social media platforms, wherever you get your podcasts. And what is our cheers beer there, Kevin?
I got 2 Goats Brewing Goat Meal Stout.
Goat meal stout. So I'm hoping, maybe it's goat milk. Maybe they hit it.
Goat Meal.
And where's it from? 2 Goats Brewing?
Yep. It's in the New York breweries. Help me out here, Ben.
Finger Lakes, right outside
Finger
of
Lakes.
Watkins Glen.
All
I can't
right.
remember
So
the name
it's
of it.
from up there
Burnett, New York.
in your hometown area. And if you're out there, let's pick up a glass, no matter what you got in it. Gentlemen, I've had a great time with the 4 of us sitting back in studio all together.
Yes, sir.
So let's raise one with the CPP, and let's all be bonded by beer. Cheers.
Cheers.